Welcome back to another episode of Fallout 76. Today we return as we continue going through our adventure we had at the Bethesda event, where we got 3 hours of hands-on with this absolutely amazing survival game coming out later this year, and the beta coming out later this month that we are going to be hopping into and doing a much more extensive playthrough, going in a lot more in-depth into all these locations when that time does roll around. So make sure that you guys are subscribed with that notification bell to stick around for that, along with the dope survival games we are going to be checking out all throughout on the channel as well. And what you guys are seeing right here is actually our very first perk card pack. This is actually one of the new features. From my understanding, what happens is every couple levels you will actually get one of these packs, including multiple perk cards that you can then utilize in addition to your usual level that you do acquire here, which we are doing so far. I've actually put 2 of my points into endurance with a couple more going to other ones. Then on top of that, we actually got another perk card too. So the perk card pack is kind of this bonus thing that you do acquire every once in a while, which is I don't know, it's actually a really cool way of going about it, especially because there are so many perk cards. We were only able to scratch the surface of it in that full playthrough, and we're able to go through it a lot more often and play a lot more, level a lot more. We'll obviously have our hands, a grubby fingers on some more of those. Like I'm saying, make sure to stick around. Not to mention, let me know in that comment section down below what you guys are thinking of the Fallout 76 gameplay today. We're going to be checking out the Greenbrier, which is known as Whitespring in this game, I believe, which has stayed marvelously intact. Not to mention, it's got all of these like robots here, and it even has, like, as you guys will be seeing, the main building is almost like a robot settlement with traders, like a ton of workbenches, and even a little bit of a secretive vault that we get an early little taste, little look into, which is very cool. So this is actually the little like hole in the fence where we're able to finesse our way in, and we can see robots that aren't trying to kill us. Feels good. Actually feels really good. Up until this point, pretty much everything we've been finding has been aggressive, so I'm just trying to kind of catch up and catch up with the rest of my group, a couple of them having gone up to here, and see what is popping. But this is actually kind of a little cool thing. This is actually the event we were at. Like, this is the location. This is kind of, Whitespring is based off of the Greenbrier Resort over in West Virginia, which is where the event took place that we were invited out to. Huge shouts out again to Bethesda for flying us out to such a marvelous thing. And it's kind of cool to see, because a lot of the enemies here, we might not necessarily be seeing that right now, but they're literally like golfer enemies and stuff. Like, it's kind of cool how specific it is, and how each location kind of does have its own unique flair, and especially with like the different robots and stuff that you guys see there. It's just, it is very cool to see such a wide variety of them and not to instantly be shot at them, you know, and also being attacked by mutated does. That's always a good thing. But like I was saying, with that comment down below, I'd actually love to hear anything you guys got to say, whether that be your guys' hype about the game, any questions you guys might have that I will do my best to try and answer. Cut me a little bit of slack if I can't answer every single comment. There are a lot of you guys asking questions and whatnot, and I am in the middle of college, and I actually do have a quiz coming up tomorrow that I gotta go ahead and study for, so I'm gonna be spending a lot of time doing that. So hopefully y'all can cut me just a tad bit of slack there. But speaking of tomorrow, tomorrow is also a huge day, because tomorrow we announce the next winner of the Fallout 76 game copy giveaway that we are hosting here on the channel. All that you guys gotta do is go ahead and like the video, leave a comment down below, and make sure you're subscribed. That will ensure you win on today's video. Y'all go and enter it on every single Fallout 76 video. What we're gonna do is, starting with episode 2 of our little walkthrough here of the entirety of the game, we'll pick a random video tomorrow, this being the last video y'all can enter in on. We'll pick a random video in tomorrow's video, pick a random comment from that random video, and that will be the winner for this giveaway, and we'll most likely have at least one more Fallout 76 giveaway after that. So like I'm saying, make sure y'all are sticking around with that. Best of luck to you guys in that as well. I want to spread a little bit of Fallout 76 cheer, because it is genuinely, between the Fallout series, which I've been a huge fan of for years and years, and dude, the clout glasses, you know we got to go ahead and toss these clout glasses on a little bit. But I've been a huge fan of the series for a long time. I've been a huge fan of open world and survival games, so to see kind of like just these two huge parts of like my gaming preferences collide and become this, like, from the 3 hours of gameplay I got, I am very much so looking forward to it. And at the end of the day, though, I could only scratch the surface of Fallout 76, because I knew that timer was constantly ticking. I knew that it's like, okay, I only have 3 hours. I want to check out as much as I can, check out all the dope things we could. So when the full series comes out, even starting with the beta coming out later this month, it is going to be a little bit slower pace. We're not going to be rushing through, although, hello, 10mm pistol, I'll cop that. We're not necessarily going to be rushing through as much as we are here. We're going to be taking our time and truly enjoying the series, doing a lot more base building, even doing some weapon modding. That's another thing that I didn't even dive into because there are so many systems like that present into the game, and I just can't wait to be able to kind of toss into them at my own pace, record and upload at my own pace, and of course get your guys' feedback as we continue playing through it as well, because that's something that I love doing with my series, is asking you guys questions, asking you guys' feedback, and of course asking you guys maybe like how we should go about certain decisions, certain directions we should take in the series. And that's not really something I could do when I got to play for 3 hours in a row in the middle of West Virginia. You know, I just kind of like, oh, here's 3 hours of footage, which I'm not saying this like it's a bad thing to do. It's so dope to check out Fallout 76 early, but it's going to be even doper when we do get to continuously record it as a little bit of a series with that beta and with that full version. But what you guys are seeing here is us continuing to go through the Greenbrier / Whitespring. These are actually a couple of the cottages. Fun little story. I was actually staying in one of these cottages when I was having my stay over at the Greenbrier over in West Virginia for the event. So it's actually kind of cool to see like a couple of these cottages like recreated, and I was like literally chilling in one of these. Obviously not as futuristic and cool looking cars over on the streets and whatnot, but check it. You guys may have just noticed we leveled up to level 5. And I think on top of that, it's, I don't know, it says like the guy, the vault boy, he has like that little, you know, pack in his hand, which makes me think that we might get a perk card maybe, or maybe that was just another animation before level 5. Not perk card, perk pack, but I think we got one for level 4, so I'm not sure. We'll see as the gameplay continues. You guys can see that a couple of these houses do have this kind of interesting little security mechanism behind it, which I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of quest line and or quest lines that unfold throughout throughout this location that you have to go ahead and find your way into. Obviously, those quest lines tend to give you EXP. They tend to give you different items and loot and whatnot, but we cannot make our way into any of these buildings. So it's going to be interesting when we do come through here in the full playthrough of Fallout 76 and kind of, you know, check out the freaking quest that it's going to have, rather than just, I don't know. At this point, I was just trying to play catch up with the rest of my dudes, and of course, chop some faces off all these feral ghouls. Sorry, feral ghouls, you gotta go. My machete does not like your face, and as such, here we are. But here is the resort itself, the Whitespring Resort, and this place is armed to the teeth. Only a total dingus would attack this place. Luckily for you guys, we had a total dingus on our team, so a little bit later in today's video, you will be seeing what happens when you decide to attack a settlement. Not to spoil it too badly, it does not end well. That's the best way of doing it, but check it out. Here we can actually enter into the Whitespring Resort itself, and there are a couple of these locations scattered throughout. It's not just one constant open world out and about in the huge wide open. There are instances that you can load into, such as this. And there are a couple of enemies like that, not enemies, but NPCs that you can talk to, and boom, shagalaka, we have leveled up to level 5, and level 5 is actually when PvP becomes enabled. There will be PvP coming either, I believe it's in today's videos, or maybe the next episode of the Fallout 76 series that we are doing. We're continuing going through those 3 hours of gameplay. I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of input and post commentary on what is occurring right now. For the most part, I just decided to actually level up that gladiator perk card, and we actually had another one because we didn't use it last time, so I'm just kind of going through here, seeing what we got, seeing if we maybe want to upgrade something, maybe cop something new, because with each level you do gain access to new perk cards. On top of that, as you guys can see, this is actually some of these perk cards, it says we have owned one, and some perk cards you can actually level up multiple times, such as the bodyguards here, which was actually a cool little perk card. That one actually had 4 different tiers you could level up. Those are denoted by all the different stars that are either filled in, so like the filled in stars denote a level that you have, or the ones that are kind of grayed out, which denotes a level that you can actually still get, or whatchamacallit. And kind of interesting that there's a holotape right here, the Bridge Club recording, and that's a little miscellaneous quest line we were able to do. It's pretty easy to come across miscellaneous quest lines, usually just coming through, and then over here we did just kind of like transition to the front. But usually what happens is just coming across a new area will usually introduce some miscellaneous quest lines, whereas I feel like sometimes you have to talk to a specific person or do something slightly more specific to get your hands on a true side quest that has multiple steps versus like a little miscellaneous thing like, oh, collect and hold 7 Whitespring holotapes, or kill a Wendigo while wearing a clown costume. That one is indeed as goofy as it sounds. There's even a freaking spa we could head into. I'm kind of like finessing my way in, like, oh, I need me a little neck rub, little massage or something. It's a nice looking spa. Here's the thing, do I want a robot doing spa things on me? Yeah, I don't know. It seems pretty sketchy, to say the least, but you can see a couple of different locations here. Just the level of detail that Fallout 76 contains is really cool. Dude, you know what's gonna be goofy? Could you imagine getting into like a PvP fight in the middle of Whitespring, or just even any settlement like this? Because that makes me wonder if like robots will actually get aggressive towards you, if they'll be like, hey, gotta keep the peace. You can't do that. This is not allowed. Like, I wonder if they will try to take down people who are aggressive towards each other. And that's actually going to be really interesting to see, because while we did get into PvP, our PvP that we got into was a little bit more out in the middle of like Bufu freaking Egypt. Wasn't exactly anywhere notable, but check this out. Here was one of those locations I was talking about that are present in settlements like this, where it's just the motherlode and the holy grail of different workbenches. You guys can see chemistry stations, even little like power armor stations over there. They got the whole 9 yards, and this chemistry station I think is the first one we came across at this point, so I'm going through it like, ooh la la, I like what I see. You guys can see you can even like dilute some things, which is kind of cool to see. Like you could turn 1 stim pack into 2 with the help of water. We were able to craft up gunpowder, which will then be useful at the ammo bench if we want to go ahead and craft more ammo. Ammo though, you do need to be careful for, since this is in kind of like similar to survival mode. If you guys know how that played out over in the Fallout games, the way that survival mode worked was that ammunition actually had weight to it. And that is the way that it does work. So if you're holding too much of one kind of ammo, it can weigh you down, and you do have a certain weight allowance that you do kind of, you know, want to stay below. Otherwise, the whole over and encumbered thing kicks in, and, well, that's no fun for anyone involved. So all I'm doing right now is trying to figure out if maybe there's anything like big weighing me down. For the most part, like, at least from my experience, the things that mainly weighed you down was weapons. You know, and I didn't really want to put those away because I'm like, yeah, I'll forget about them or something. So when it does come to actually the full game coming out, to the beta coming out later this month, that we will be checking out, stay tuned for that. The way that that's going to be working out is I'm going to actually pay a little bit more attention to it, you know, manage it. And I'll let Joyce talk.
But I wanted to make sure there was something here if you came looking. You made it. God, where to start? It's about 2:30 in the morning, New Year's, 2079. I've been here for the past year since the war. Me, a couple of the staff, about 100 guests, and the robots. Never thought I'd be grateful for the robots. We made out all right. Even made me manager. Can you believe it? But we have to go. Paula and I. We're leaving for Charleston in the morning. I've missed you and the girls. I missed you so much. Take care of them for me, alright? All my love. Always.
Dang, fam. That was, right in the feels. But here what you guys are going to be seeing is me actually trying to cut a little bit of weight and get rid of a lot of these weapons. However, at least the weapons that I had my hands on didn't tend to be the most expensive things in the world. My weapons were pretty poop. For the most part, they're like pipe weapons and stuff, so they weren't really selling for a lot of caps, and I was just kind of like being a little bit indecisive, so I'm like, oh, this board is slightly more sturdy than the other board. But I mean, collecting some caps was nice, and we were able to collect it. But as you guys can see, at least until we get our hands most likely on later game items that, you know, are a little bit better, no weapons, at least from the early game that we've gotten our hands on so far, seem to really tilt the scales of cap balance too much. I didn't really find anything super crazy Like, I didn't find any vendors selling, like, legendary weapons, like special weapons, for example, really. But you guys can see, like, if you're looking at all the weight these different items have, it was a good idea for me to go ahead and shed a couple of them. And here's actually that little incident that I was talking about. Yeah. For some reason, the guy in our group's like, oh my god, robots, we need to shoot them. He just got falcon punched by that sentry bot. He could not be revived. He was very dead. And just wait. It gets better than this because he will respawn. And over here, whatchamacallit, we just had to restart the game really quickly, so we are kind of like re-squadding up and recreating the squad. There, of course, we have a lonely staff member 4. But no worries. Oh, staff member 4. He's coming back with a vengeance. He's like, oh, these robots. Just wait. It gets better. But I'm just looking through. Yeah, you can see him moving up right now. You can hear the bolts. This man didn't learn his lesson the first time. He obviously forgot what just happened 30 seconds ago. Maybe suffering some amnesia. Whatever it is, I was thinking about shooting. When I saw the health of all these robots, I'm like, I'll let him take that L. He's collecting enough L's for the entire team. Like, me and everyone else is like, yeah, let's remove ourselves from that situation. Honestly, I think that guy might not have just realized that they kind of like chill out after they kill you. So he came back like, I'm gonna get my revenge. Dies again. So, RIPs in the comments for him. That could even be your entry. How about we show some rips, some RIPs for our buddy boy over there, who I think just got into a third shootout. Jesus Christ. I totally forgot he got into a third shootout. I think the third one's when he learns his lesson and he starts hauling out of there, but at this point, we're kind of going back on track into our general quest and take a peek at the radar at the bottom, and you can see this is what I was attracted towards this entire time. The radar at the bottom, that compass at the bottom, was denoting this very interesting bunker. And check this out. There's a dev right here, the Whitespring service entrance. And, well, I don't know. My curiosity is that of a cat. I'm seeing this stuff. I'm like, a doorway. And the dev's kind of leading the way. And what we have next is a hand scanner that leads you into this doorway and allows you to access the bunker through those laser beams. Now, at this point, I'm like, dude, am I gonna get sliced up into a bajillion bits? Am I about to become like tofu or something? What is this? But, I send it, I YOLO it, but turns out it is just a little bit sturdy, and then you can actually only get through the door in the first place if you have the security clearance. And after, I think we learned about this, a little bit of history behind the Greenbrier Resort, which is what Whitespring is based off of. This bunker, I believe, is actually a government bunker of some sort, and I believe this is the same bunker. And that actually brought me back. I'm actually gonna try and go get my way through the second entrance over here, but it's gonna end up having a similar security system where it does have that hand scanner and then all those laser beams you gotta get through. And there's, I think, 2 main conclusions to come through. Conclusion number 1 being that you have to do some sort of quest line here at the Greenbrier to maybe gain access or maybe get a key card. Although I think you have to gain access because you have to have your hand scanned. So your hand has to be associated with being allowed to be given access. And this is actually, if you guys saw the last video, if you remember Camp McClintock, that is where things were a little bit interesting because that quest line and what the Overseer was saying after that quest line was something along the lines of like, oh, maybe I'll be able to trick robots now because like I think she was technically enlisted in the army in some way, shape, or form from the robots because she did go through the training and enlisting and everything. So that makes me wonder if doing like that quest line over there might actually lead into gaining access to this bunker here because that's a very Fallout thing to do where things from like totally different areas kind of like you start to see those connections, they start to relate. And this would be a prime example of that, and I think that it would make a lot of sense. I don't know about you guys, but feel free. I'd love to hear what you guys think regarding that. If you think maybe there'll be a different quest line, or if you think maybe it Camp McClintock from the last episode. If you guys haven't checked that out, make sure to do it. We're doing an entire series covering all the footage that we got because I'm a Fallout 76 nut. It's official. I cannot wait to get my hands on this and not rush through it as much. Don't worry, it pains me as much as it is probably paining you guys. a little bit, but over here we're gonna get back into actually making our way into the bunker. I'm trying to look around a little bit, see if there isn't maybe a little bit of loot in classic Fallout style, but ultimately I make the decision, make the judgment call. Let's see what's behind this doorway. A little bit of false hope actually, 'cause I'm like, yo, I'm in! And then what you realize is that there's the exact same security system on the inside as there was back out there on the outside. Oh, there's a little bit of loot we can go and get our little fingers into, and actually, as you guys can see, we're gonna do a little bit of looting out and about here. We got some okay loot as per usual. Like, I don't know, I don't think in my time doing Fallout 76 we came across really any super noteworthy loot until the last episode, or even last couple of episodes. No, I think it's the last episode of the series, going over our gameplay, but over here we actually have a little bit of an interview for Sam Blackwell. Go ahead and feel free to pause the video and read through those. Maybe give me your guys' opinions on what that and what you thought. But over here you guys can see that exact same type of security system, although this time with an ID card. So I wonder if there's gonna be two different ways you could get into this bunker. One, doing some kind of quest line that gets your handprint actually like verified, and then the other one being some sort of like maybe just finding a key card or getting a key card as a reward from a quest, because I don't know, man. It's a huge open world with so many of these locations. It definitely would make sense for some of them to have those certain ties and kind of like tie into each other. That's something we've seen before in like pretty much every single Fallout, and just given how big and how massive this world is, I think the odds of it happening are, I don't want to say confirmed, but I mean, let's think here. Like, it's probably going to be happening on some scale. And, yeah, so at this point, I have given up my bunker aspirations as much as I would love to make my way into there, because you know that place has got to have some good loot or maybe some cool quests. Definitely, when the beta comes out, I'm going to be doing everything in my power to try to find my way into there amongst many of the other cool locations, doing all those quests, doing all that jazz, and of course, continuing that when the full game comes out, not to mention building up a dope. That's the one thing. It's so great getting our hands on it, but getting your hands on it only for a couple of hours, and nothing like sitting on the lap of a skeleton to celebrate Spooktober, giving him a good old lap dance. Look, he was flustered by that dance. My sitting technique, he phased through the chair, man. What can I say? I'm a master sitter. I'm just as masterful as it comes. That dude, he had a long night. I don't know what this guy was doing. He's at a chair overlooking the golf course. I don't know if he was like enjoying the nuclear apocalypse when it hit, just like, oh, well, we're all gonna die anyway. Might as well die with a beer in hand. Whatever it is, hey, respect to you, my dude. You died in a folding chair, and you didn't leave it for probably hundreds, no, not hundreds, but a couple of decades. Respect to you for that. That booty was probably atomically glued to that metal of the folding chair. Gotta pay some respects where it's due. But yeah, I just can't wait to actually be able to go a lot more in depth and truly do it justice. And check this out! Vertibots. At first I'm like, a vertibird? I'm like, yo, is the Brotherhood of Steel around here? But turns out that's actually gonna end up being a vertibot, which is a little bit on the different side. Also, weird thing here, there's like a turret and some sort of like little, oh, there's a vertibot returns. I actually decided to go ahead and shoot at it. It's neutral until you do get a shot off, then it becomes an enemy. But it doesn't do anything once it's an enemy. My goal in life has currently become to shoot that thing down and see what we might be able to get out of it. But that little kind of like bunker thing you guys saw, it's got a turret by it, but that turret wasn't aggressive right away. I was looking around for maybe a terminal. We got a nuka-cola quantum. Shouts out. Those are always nifty to find, but I didn't find anything super crazy from none of the terminals. We do go into this terminal, but it doesn't really have any crazy options from what I saw. It had a couple of those data lost ones, and also there's my buddy. That's the same dude who decided to attack the resort staff. He's currently getting attacked by some other stuff, so we gotta go bail him out, do him a little bit of good. But yeah, man, I just cannot wait to really be able to dive into a lot of these locations, take the game on a little bit more linearly and kind of like progress through it and truly do each area justice. But for now, this series is kind of just like gonna be a little bit of a quicker overview in that sense, checking out what it has to offer, going over some things, and the finale. What is revealed in the finale is insane, so make sure you stay tuned for that, and of course the full series as that time does come. But yeah, it was interesting to see the vertibots, because those were initially I just thought it was a vertibird, And with the vertebrate, the way that those work, I believe those are from the Brotherhood of Steel. I think they have Enclave ties as well, but it was just interesting to see those. I don't know what the history of Vertibots is or anything of that. That's actually my first time ever seeing those, but that makes me wonder because I think I've actually found some Brotherhood of Steel dead people actually throughout the game as well. So the Brotherhood of Steel, it appears to be present in this game, which makes me wonder if maybe the Enclave might be as well, although that's going to be a bit more of a stretch. But the Enclave did have to do with the government officials, and we are seeing some of those government ties, especially with that bunker that we just visited today. So it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how all of that unfolds. But go ahead and let me know in that comment section down below your guys' thoughts on any of this shit, your guys' thought on the gameplay, and of course, dropping a like, and best of luck in the giveaway. Make sure you're subscribed. Stick around for more. But with that said and with that done, that's going to wrap it up for me for now. Thank you guys a whole ton for watching. This was an awesome one. I'll talk to the next one. See ya.